Hello, what do you think Australia is famous for? I've never been to Australia, so all I know is what everybody knows, I guess. If I think of Australian things, well, in Japan, Australian beef, kangaroos, koalas. Uh, what else? Uh, I don't know. My mind goes blank, but it's a very, very big place that speaks English. Big desert in the middle, what they call the outback, in the middle of the country. And most of the people live around the coasts and mostly on the, what is that, the east coast. Do you know the capital of Australia? If you said Sydney, you would be wrong. It's actually Canberra. That's about all I know about Australia. Um, Sydney, though, is the most, I think it's the largest city and it's sort of tourist destination. So I thought, let's have a think about what you would do if you found yourself in Sydney for 24 hours. What could you do? Now, I know nothing about Sydney, so I asked ChatGPT to come up with some suggestions. And what I'm discovering from ChatGPT is they give you very average kind of suggestions. It doesn't really have any knowledge, it's just going through algorithms. So these may not be the best suggestions, but it's all I've got. Okay, there are 8 suggestions I've got here. If you had 24 hours in Sydney, what could you do? Number one, morning at Bondi Beach. Maybe Bondi Beach is kind of famous. I know my daughter likes watching some kind of reality TV set on Bondi Beach. Um, Lifeguards racing to rescue people. Looks like a very busy beach. So there's Bondi Beach. Number two, breakfast at a local cafe. Enjoy Bondi Cafe coffee culture. I didn't know that Bondi had coffee culture, but maybe. The next one I imagine is good. Explore the Sydney Opera House. That's the famous opera house. It's pictured with an AI illustration in this lesson. Um, yeah, I don't know what kinds of do they have much opera in the Sydney Opera House? Do they put on plays? I don't know. It doesn't tell me, but that might be something of interest. Number 4 is ferry to Manly. I don't know what Manly is, but you can take a ferry and look around, I guess. Uh, a ferry, of course, like a ship for going short distances. Go from one shore to the other. Okay. Lunch at Manly Beach, another beach. Fish and chips are popular. So I guess Australians have a lot of English cuisine, like fish and chips. Okay. What else? Sydney Harbour Bridge climb. Experience breathtaking panoramic views of Sydney. Okay. Climb up, climb up the side of a mountain and look at Sydney. Okay. And you can have dinner there. Dinner at the Rocks. Explore the historic area of the Rocks and choose one of the many restaurants for dinner. Okay. Right. And finally, number 8. Oh, did I miss one? Sydney Harbour Bridge climb. You can climb up the Sydney Harbour Bridge. No, thank you. I don't like heights. Anyway, dinner at the Rocks. And then the last one is number 8, Sydney Tower Eye. Take in the cityscape from the observation deck at sunset. I don't know if these are the best suggestions of things to do in Sydney. It sounds like a lot of beaches and looking at the Opera House. There may be other stuff going on. I don't know. I would be curious to know. Maybe I should research. But I don't know. I'd be curious. What do you think? In fact, here are 3 questions for you. Which of these suggestions appeal to you the most? Which one appeals the most? Which one do you like the idea of? Number 2, which would you find uninteresting, do you think? Anything boring here? To be honest, I would be bored at the beach. I have very fair hair and light skin. I would get burnt by the sun. So that wouldn't be much fun for me. But maybe you're different. Maybe you're not so miserable like me. Number three, what would you like to do in Australia? If you went to Australia, would you go to Sydney? What else would you do? Um, yeah, I don't know. What would I do in Australia? There's the great outdoors, things to do outside. Um, I don't know. Australia seems to me like a place that would be nice to live, but not great to visit. Maybe the opposite. Maybe the opposite is true. I have no idea. The Australia and Australian culture, particularly soap operas, the TV dramas, were very popular when I was living in England in the 1980s and 90s. There was a show called Neighbours, which was very, very popular and made famous Kylie Minogue. Do you know Kylie Minogue? She's a singer now, but she was started as a soap opera actress. And that's what Australia is famous for in England. In Australia, I don't know. But certainly worth visiting to practice your English. So there we are. What would you like to do in Australia? For me, I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay, think about these questions and I will see you again. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.